is where somebody has a personal residence, a vacation home, or farm. Those are the only three things. And if you know a single couple or a couple or an older couple or a single guy, single person who's been giving for you for maybe not heirs are out of town, never coming back, or estranged or whatever, if they're older, and I mean over 70, because over 70, you kind of know where you're going to live. Kind of. You have an idea. So if they're over 70, if they have a personal residence, vacation home, or farm, did you know what? They can deed that to you or to the community foundation for you, but say on the deed, but I get to live there for the rest of my life, and so does my spouse, or so does my partner, or so does my sister or my brother. I get a big income tax deduction. What's changed? Nothing. I'm the life tenant. I'm still paying the insurance. I'm paying the taxes. I replace the roof if the tornado comes through. That is an incredible gift. That's one reason Sycamore Land Trust has grown the way it has. People down in Brown County, they deed that 100-acre tract. I'm going to deed it to the Sycamore Land Trust, but I'm going to live on it for the rest of my life, and so is my honey bun, right? That is a very cool idea, very underutilized technique, extremely highly utilized. That guy from Green Valley with the trust, the $1 million trust, she had a retained life estate. She said to her kids both live in Indiana, "You want the house in Green Valley?" "Heck no, Mom, we're alive." It's a big retirement community. I've been there. Not a light on downtown after 9 o'clock. So the kids said no. That would have been a fabulous retained life estate counting towards that $1 million for the chair in urology that family has, right? Tick, 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 because she only drove out there 2 years after Norb died. She couldn't see over the steering wheel, and the kids didn't want it. See, perfect. Our job is to suggest these ideas. All right, so I want to show you what's in the outline very quickly. That first handout, what can we talk about? And when you read this, you will see nothing in here is about technical recitation. My friend Laura Dean, who is a giant in this field, Laura Dean says, and I quote her all the time, she says, "I've never met anyone who says their life goal is to create a charitable remainder trust, and you won't either." So what you really want to say to people is, if and when you have highly appreciated property, talk to me. If and when you want to diversify, you're tired of living poor on CDs. If and when, the tenant farmer comes in. If and when, you get a redemption offer for stock. Redemption offer means the corporation is buying back some of it. But if you don't cast your light, you don't tell people about that, they think, I write a check every year, and a very few of us will put a bequest in our will. They never think about these things outside the box. Ever, 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 ever. Because we are the ones who know about them. So this says you talk to people about it. I've had some of the best conversations ever in this town in the halls of, in the aisles of Kroger. And you will too. Because people are very interested in this, Can I talk to you about, would you consider? And it has to work for you, right? On the bottom of page 2, here's that, would you consider making a gift plan if we could show you how? And up here on number 12, up higher, it says pitch might be how to endow the annual support on which the charity has come to rely, that entree boo, that really works. This next handout, boy, you will love, love, love this. Simpler gift plans. This is a fantastic little handout. It's like a clip notes, and look at that. Bequest, there's the valid will or trust. There's the beneficiary designation by percentage, a part or all or one or more retirement plans. Lots of people, myself included, I was raised in a little town of 400 people in northern Indiana. Retirement plans are our largest portfolio asset, and we are not unusual. We are not unusual at all. And people say to me all the time, I love my retirement plans, they grow tax-free. No, they don't. They grow tax-deferred. Correct people. No, that's not right. Tax deferred, the tax man's coming, multiple taxes, tick-tock, tick-tock, it's a-coming. It's a-coming. Life insurance, kids can get that tax-free. I only talk about life insurance if they don't have retirement plans, because when you always give advice to the donor, that, the money spends the same to you, honestly. But where it comes from the donor makes a difference whether they'll repeat that experience or not. If you say, oh, you could use this, that IRA charitable rollover. You could do this with funding a gift annuity. You could do this instead. When you help people with that, I could sit in my office at IU Foundation and people called me which was quite unusual at the time. But we just said if and when, if and when, if and when. And capital gains then were high. They're high right now. They're high right now because federal is 20% plus state it's 25%. It's a quarter. So people are very concerned about losing a quarter of their profit today. They are highly incentivized today. And that farm story, the reason I told you that story, is that a lot of people think it's all or nothing. Those were pieces. We did different things with pieces, right? Because they own 100% debt-free of that 134-acre farm, don't they? That's it. And we all were lined up to cash out in a queue, because we lined up all of our ducks. Who gets paid off first from the parks for the money they have? We lined it up. We made it work. All right, life insurance, again, the kids can get that tax-free, but if they don't have retirement plans, hey, great way to leave a beneficiary designation to the charity. Another reason I will tell you I hit beneficiary designation so much, I told you about 30% of Hoosiers have will, 100% of us have beneficiary designations. That tells you right there, they are bound to work in a way a will or trust will never happen. 100, and a lot of us did it. If somebody worked for IU 30 years ago, they haven't even looked at that for 30 years, unless they got divorced. Oh, by the way, any of you who are divorced, run, not walk to change your beneficiary designation, because in Indiana, your ex can get it. Your divorce decree does not override the beneficiary designation. So if your parent, somebody is divorced, you changed that beneficiary designation, didn't you? That is a big trap. Big trap right there. Gifts using appreciated stock or real estate as the funding asset. We gave you a story. Here's number 5. Here's that retained life estate. Gift of real property subject to life estate for donor, couple, siblings. Personal residence, vacation home, or farm only. Can't be commercial property. No rental property here in town. Government savings bonds. This is the weirdest thing to have on here. The banks no longer sell government savings bonds, but when we learned that on NPR 2 years ago, here's what they said: $6 billion in matured, unredeemed savings bonds in America. A whole bunch of them are here in the Hoosier State, my friends. So this is something else. I don't know anything about. If you have savings bonds, the vast majority of people, they've been sitting in a bank vault for 30 years and they haven't received income. So odd that Hoosier should. They could cash some of those in. They can't give you the savings bonds. They're ordinary income instruments, meaning when I bought savings bonds for my kids, I put them in the Christmas stockings so they would believe Santa was a saver. It worked. It worked. Every year Santa brought savings bonds to the kids. It worked. When I bought them a $100 bond and I paid $50, if I cash it in, I have to recognize $50 in income. People in Indiana don't get income off bonds for decades rather than pay that income once. Crazy. Crazy, says this wife and daughter of a banker. Anyway, what they could do is redeem some of those bonds, make the gift to you they thought they couldn't afford to make, or they can cash some of those bonds in, and as soon as the community foundation does gift annuities, they can do a gift annuity for themselves and somebody else. Only 1 or 2 annuitants on a charitable gift annuity. 1 or 2. 1 or 2. That's it on that contract. So there we go. Many savings bonds, fantastic. And I would suggest these to people. I have never talked about savings bonds in a community foundation audience that somebody doesn't say, I forgot all about those. It has happened 100% of the time. And probably in your families too. And promoting gifts other than cash. That is a great term. Gifts other. People will say to you after a while, are there? Are there? Because people think gifts other than cash. All right, we're down to our last 5 minutes. I want to tell you that this next handout, not going to read this either, it says huge donor benefits from gift plans. And it's not just tax and it's not just personal satisfaction, avoiding the capital gains, increased income. That farm family is getting far more income, both mom and kids, than they ever would have in the market. Let's get real. That is an incredible deal. I can take care of people. I don't have to wait till death. I can plan for them in a way. I can protect them against themselves. That charitable major trust idea, the one with the retirement plan, I was in Madison, Wisconsin, talking to this couple, second marriage. They have a home in Arizona. She's not well. And we're talking about this trust because he has $2.5 million, $2.9 million in his retirement plan. I go through the whole thing. You can preserve the whole thing, give your kids 20 years of income at 5%. Donor surprise